Shalom, how's everyone doing? Today is day 15 of the Kitzur Shulchan, and we'll be learning Siman Seif Ches. Okay, let's get started. Im hishkim v'natal yadav va'od laila kidino. Let's say somebody wakes up early, while it's still night, and obviously he gets up and he washes his hand, as the Kitzur says, like the halacha, right? When you get up, you're supposed to wash your hands right away. So he does that. V'haya'er ad or hayom, and he stays up until it becomes day. Okay, that's one case. Or let's say, instead of staying awake, he goes back to sleep. Or somebody who sleeps during the day, 60 breaths, which is about a half hour. Or somebody who stays up the entire night and he doesn't even sleep 60 breaths, which we're saying is a half hour. All these cases were in doubt if you have to actually wash your hands again. You should wash your hands like you normally do, 3 times, alternating, like we described in Sif Gimel, but one should not make a bracha on them. Okay, so obviously, as we've been saying, there are 3 reasons we wash our hands in the morning, right? We have the reason of the rush, that when we go to sleep at night, we touched covered parts of our bodies, and now we have to daven. You got to daven with clean hands. Got to wash your hands. That's the reason of the rush. Obviously, the reason of the rashba is that we're a new person every day in our service of Hashem. Just like a Kohen washes his hands when he starts his day, so too we do. That's reason number 2. And then you got reason number 3, which has nothing to do with the bracha, as we've said, because there's impurity on our hands, and we have to get that impurity when we wake up. So with this in mind, let's go through each case of the Kitzur and see what he's talking about. Right? So we have the first case here. Somebody gets up middle of the night. Right? So obviously, if you get up in the middle of the night, you're going to wash your hands. Why? Why are you going to wash your hands? 1, because according to the Rush, you're washing your hands because you got to make them clean for davening. According to the Rashba, you're washing your hands because you're starting your day. You know, when you start your day, you wash your hands. And 3, when you wake up, there's ruach ra, right? So obviously, when you wake up, you wash your hands, even if it's the middle of the night. And now it's the day again. Now it's day. So why should you have to wash your hands again? So let's think about it. According to the Rush, there's no reason you have to wash your hands again because your hands are already clean, right? You didn't do anything to make your hands not clean. So according to the Rush, you probably don't have to wash your hands. What about according to the Rashba? Also, according to the Rashba says, yeah, when you start your day, when you start your avodas Hashem every day, you wash your hands. What about the third thing, ruach ra? So, pashup pshat, ruach ra, you also don't have to wash your hands. So, why is the Kitzur saying it's a suffix? So really, if you look in Shulchan Aruch also says it's a suffix. Why is it a suffix? Obviously, according to the Rush, you don't wash your hands. Obviously, according to the Rashba, you don't have to wash your hands. Who do you have to wash your hands according to? The ruach ra concern. Because there are some people who learn in the Zohar that sleep doesn't bring on ruach ra. Actually, the morning brings on ruach ra. Right? So you go through the whole night, and then the morning comes. That's when the ruach ra comes on you, and then you have to wash your hands. So therefore, that's a suffix. So we wash, no bracha. Next case. Let's say he goes back to sleep. So he goes back to sleep. That makes the shaila a little different. Right, let's start with the Rashba here. The Rashba says when you start your day, you wash your hands. So obviously you can only start your day once. So the Rashba would say, yeah, the first time you wake up, you wash your hands. But according to the Rush, that the whole idea is to have your hands ready for davening. If you go to sleep, you make your hands not clean again. Right, so the first washing is really nothing. So the second washing is the real washing according to the Rush. And also according to the ruach ra idea, you also should have to wash because you go back to sleep. No reason you shouldn't wash. So in this case, we also say you don't make a bracha when you wash, assuming you made a bracha the first time, because now, according to the Rashba, you don't have to wash your hands. And we said the only way you can make a bracha is if you both are being yotzi the shita of the Rashba and the shita of the Rush. Okay, that's case number 2. Case number 3 is the case of yashin bayom. So let's think about it. According to the Rush, our hands become dirty when we go to sleep, and it's time to daven. So maybe even if you sleep during the day, let's say you sleep during the day, and now you're up to daven mincha. According to the Rush, you probably would have to wash your hands and make a bracha. But according to the Rashba, you don't. because you started your day in the morning. You're not going to start your day in the afternoon. And the Ruach Ra idea, there is a suffix also by Ruach Ra, because some people say that the night brings on Ruach Ra, as we just said, but most Shitos hold that sleep brings on the Ruach Ra. So probably according to Ruach Ra, you would have to wash your hands. And just he says here this whole Shita Nishman thing, 60 breath. What is that? So in halacha, in order for something to be considered like a shinas kefa, a real sleep, you have to sleep the amount of 60 breaths. Ber halacha says 3 opinions what that means. Either it means 3 minutes, 30 minutes, or 3 hours. Most Shitos hold 30 minutes. So that's what he quotes. And now we have an interesting case, near kalalayla, of the entire night. Right? So what's the case there? So let's think about it. Let's say somebody's up the entire night. Let's take the rush. So according to the rush, you're up the entire night. Your hands are clean. Like, you don't go to sleep to touch a part of the body that's unclean. So according to the rush, you probably don't have to wash your hands. Let's think according to the Rashba. Pasha shot behind the Rashba is, okay, when you start your day, you become a new person, you have to wash your hands. You didn't start a day, you were up the whole night. What about for Ruach Ra? So there's a question if night brings on the Ruach Ra, or if sleep brings on the Ruach Ra. So maybe there is Ruach Ra, so maybe that's why you would have to wash your hands. But Rav Akiva Eiger says an interesting thing. Rav Akiva Eiger says if somebody stays up all night, there is a way he could wash his hands in the morning with a bracha. How does he do that? So he said if you look in the Beis Yosef talks about the sheet of the Rashba, and he says, I know the Rashba holds that you only wash your hands and make a bracha if you're becoming a new person in the morning. But he says the Rashba says low plug. The Rashba says it doesn't make a difference. Right? You personally are not becoming a new person because you didn't sleep. But the Rashba holds that every day of the year, because normally you become a new person, even though you personally didn't go through that experience of becoming a new person, you would still wash your hands and you would make a bracha. Okay, so that's great. If you're up all night, the Beis Yosef himself says, he's not sure about it, but the Beis Yosef himself says it's sad that even according to the Rashba, you would make a bracha. But the thing is, we said in order to make a bracha, you need to be yotzi the Rashba and the Rush. So Rav Akiva Eiger says, I have a great idea. What does the Rush hold in general? The Rush holds in general that even mincha time. Let's say you want to daven mincha, and then you go to the bathroom, and now you have to wash your hands. So you're washing your hands to have clean hands for davening, right? You know for sure your hands are dirty. You're washing them for davening. According to the Rush, you actually make a bracha on that netila. So he says, just do that if you stay up all night, right? If you stay up all night, now it's the morning. So let's think about it. According to the Rashba, we're saying you have to make a bracha, you have to wash and make a bracha because it's you're normally a new person in the morning. And according to the Rush, I just got my hands dirty. I just went to the bathroom. So therefore, even according to the Rush, I have to make a bracha. So he says, according to the Rashba, you do make a bracha. According to the Rush, you make a bracha. Obviously, you make a bracha. And the Mishbura holds like that. And that seems to be what people do. However, I saw that the Maimar Mordechai, he wasn't such a big fan of this idea, because he says if you look in the Beis Yosef himself, he's not confident about the Rashba. He's not confident that the Rashba holds even if you're up all night, you actually wash your hands and make a bracha. Therefore, he says you should actually hear the bracha from somebody else. Okay, shkoyach.